We're on! We're live!
What's happening?
Not much.
It's happening. We're live.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Game Tasty Show for February 20th, 2020. That's 02202020. That's right. So it's got to be significant somehow, some way.
There's a vision pun there somewhere. But everyone's doing it.
If
so,
we do enough peyote, we will figure out the meaning of this day.
Stay tuned for that part of the show.
You know it. Hey, everybody. I'm Dave the Watchman with Bacon.com.
I am Jeff Roth with Bacon.com.
Thank you so much if you're joining us live. Thank you so much if you're joining us via YouTube or any of the other video on-demand services. We really appreciate you checking us out, if it's for an entire hour or just for a few minutes, whatever. We're just happy you're here. We're both with Bacon.com. This is the Game Tasty Show, our weekly show talking about all things gaming and whatever else pops into our morbid little minds.
I like we're doing this again.
Yeah, it's about time. We kind of were on a hiatus for a little while.
Yeah.
Life got in the way, but we're back.
Silly Dave wanted to get married.
Yeah, you know, it happens.
And Silly Dave wanted to invite me to the wedding.
Yeah.
That was your other mistake, was having me there.
I figured if you make one mistake, you gotta...
Might as well. Let's go full circle.
Anyway, what do we got going on in gaming this week? We had an event that the Nintendo faithful have been praying to. They've been praying to their Mario statues for, and that is a Nintendo Direct. It's not a big general Direct that everybody's been hoping for, but it's a little something.
I was hoping for it.
On a little game called Animal Crossing. New
Oh my God!
Horizons. We finally got some more info. We're what, a month away?
I know.
30 days away from this thing? It feels like it's been such a long wait. I don't think they've talked about this game or any game really since September, and now we finally got one this morning.
Yeah, not since the delay have they really got into.
Right.
They're supposed to come out last year.
Right.
And then it said, oh, it's March, and we'll tell you why later. So
they're teasing us.
Yeah.
Anyway, I will admit I did not watch the Nintendo Direct this morning, so I gotta leave it up to you, Jeff Roth.
Okay.
What is new? What's happening with this game?
So I watched it once before I had to do life things today as well.
Right.
But this is a game I've been looking forward to since it got announced. I'm somebody who I didn't play the GameCube one, did not play I played the DS one a little bit. My love comes from the 3DS version.
Wow.
And that's where I really got into it and could not put it down. So this is where I'm excited for the new on the Switch. So I'm gonna pull some brief things here from other medias to kind of and then generalize it. So the big thing is that you're on a deserted island.
Oh my gosh.
As opposed to like your first thing is you get to pay Tom Nook and Nook Incorporated to fly you to this deserted island and place your tent. Because usually what it is you're in the city or you're in the countryside and you build your house and you start paying that back to Tom Nook and
just like real life,
right? And eventually you get to the point where you can upgrade your tent to the house and then you start paying back Nook Incorporated for the housing work.
Right.
Which they're doing it in some fun ways this year. Multiplayer always been a big thing. So I'm gonna go from the Washington Post here and kind of see what they put here.
The hell is the Washington Post doing writing about games?
So, 4 players can explore the island together. Now, you can have... now, this is all separate with your own Switch.
Right. So you and I have a Switch, we can explore your island together.
Right. So up to 4 players can explore the island together, as well as using voice chat or text to communicate via the Nintendo Online app.
Okay.
And that the text you do in the app will appear in the game.
So I can't talk to you like when we're in the same room, but I can talk to you via the app.
You can talk to me as you damn well please. But
nice.
They're on the app that will launch their same day or perhaps even directly after the game launch. They say in March is when the app's launching for the actual phone.
Okay.
You can do your text chat. The coolest thing about the app is that it is a QR code reader. Now, you can create custom images to use on your shirts and your bedspreads in the actual game for the Switch game, or using the QR code reader, you can import designs from the 3DS games, both the main game and Happy Home Designer. So
Could I point the QR reader just at anybody in general?
Don't know what the results would be, but sure, yeah.
Okay, sorry, I derailed.
You're fine. So the idea of the 4 traveling as one. One's the leader, The other 3 are the followers, and the leader kind of takes charge of what they want to do. You can switch on the fly to a different leader, so if they need stuff that they need to do, just press a couple buttons, and then they're the leader.
So what is the responsibility of the leader?
Well, in case you just want to do some shopping, or you want to do some crafting, the leader is the one that can do the legwork. That your followers are basically there to kind of help you out.
You sure you didn't watch a video on a cult?
Yes, might be.
Sounds like a cult.
Yes, I watched the UK. Nintendo
Whose island is this? Is this Epstein's island?
You know. Up to 8 people can register villagers on one Switch. So let's say, for example, if you buy the game,
yes,
you can have your villager, Lauren can have her villager on the same island.
Oh, there we go.
I don't think you can play together, but your villagers can inhabit the same island.
So wait a second. I can have other people on my island, but you sold this to me on the merits that I would get to go to a deserted island. What is up with that, Nintendo?
There are castaways involved in this.
There's castaways now.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Refugees. I gotta take in refugees. I'm gonna build a wall around my island.
You can tell them to leave, and I think they eventually do leave. I think what it was. The example,
from our experience.
The example that they showed was that there was a captain of a boat that kind of washed ashore.
Okay.
And they said, hey, just be around him until he wakes up and kind of help him get back on his feet and get back home. So.
Did he have a soccer ball with him?
No.
Oh.
Wilson! It's a volleyball, by the way.
You're right. You're right.
Actually, it was the volleyball. The biggest thing that's different is the terraforming, which was never, I don't believe, was a thing back in the day. So, like, you can take your cliffs and dig them out to make a path going up to island going up.
That's cool.
You can actually put land on top of water and kind of build. You can build land on top of water. You can build bridges on top of water. So it's full like Minecraft style terraforming. Which is really cool.
Okay. How big is the island? Did they give any kind of indication?
It's if you've played the other games, it's pretty similar to that scale.
I haven't played an Animal Crossing game since the original on the game.
It's big enough. It's not like a massive map, especially if they're all islands, but it's a decent size. I wouldn't say it's gigantic.
Interesting.
But the in-game currency, it used to be bells, now it's Nook Miles. And you earn Nook Miles by completing tasks during your days. Fill out your punch cards, you get Nook Miles. That's how you pay back your debt. And that's how you pay for new shirts and new tools and stuff like that.
I think they're trying that in Venezuela right now.
I believe so.
Yeah. Is this on Nook Miles? Is this on the blockchain now?
It might be.
Is that what's going on? We got like this digital NM currency.
Yes.
I see how it is. All right.
Also a new crafting system, so you can do a lot of DIY projects.
Finally.
Yep. There is a resident services tent, which is kind of your headquarters, where the Nook Incorporated is. Open 24/7.
Okay, well that's convenient. Hy-Vee doesn't even do that anymore.
Right, and you can hop in there and buy some medicine in case you get stung by wasps, or you can buy your...
Wait, I'm going to a paradise and there's still wasps?
There's still bugs that exist there.
Louise.
You can buy a lot of things, a lot of quality of life stuff there, open 24/7, or you can sell your stuff for Nook Miles. I think it's good. Let's see. The game will not support cloud saves.
Son of a biscuit.
But they're looking into ways to recover your backup in case your system breaks down or you lose it. They're trying to. They don't have an answer yet, but they're looking at ways to recover your save data in case you lose your system.
Why? Why can't they just do a cloud save on it? Everybody else and their mom can do cloud saves.
I don't know.
I don't get that.
I don't know.
Nintendo, why?
I don't know.
Why? Okay, what is the advantage of them tying it to a system? The advantage is here's me. Okay, this is conspiracy theory. Okay, so here's the advantage. If they don't do it as a cloud save, then someday, when and if they launch an upgraded theoretical Switch Pro system, that discourages people from trading in their old Nintendo Switches and getting the discount on the Nintendo Switch Pro. Of course, that really wouldn't matter to Nintendo because the retailer is still selling the Nintendo Switch Pro Yeah, it's on the retailer to take that currency, so that defeats that theory. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of
I
why.
love when you come full circle and you have a theory, then immediately get yourself out of it.
Yeah, but at least I can debate myself, and
Sure.
instead of like, yeah,
No, and there's some cool multiplayer features where you
it's
can
critical thinking.
travel to your friend's island and kind of help them out do things. You also can travel just to a random island.
Oh wow!
And everything you want to dig up for flowers and coins, whatever, you can keep all that. So you can just jump to a deserted island that's random.
So you can become almost like an Animal Crossing pirate, is what
Pretty
you're saying.
much.
Huh.
And they're gonna add like full-scale museums where you can go and see the wildlife, or like behind aquariums, and it's just, the graphics look tremendous, and it's just, I have to go watch it again. I might do like a watch along on the YouTube channel just to kind of point out some things. But there's a lot to uncover in this game, and this is the first it's all free updates. Mm-hmm. They do a lot of seasonal stuff, and you can choose to live in the northern hemisphere or southern hemisphere, and that will determine when your seasons kick off. So northern hemisphere, pick the game up on March 20th. You start in the spring.
Okay.
If you do southern hemisphere, it starts in the fall. I believe.
Right.
So that kind of just changes the order. Well, it changes the time in which your seasons happen. But the first update will be Easter themed, and that will come out day one.
Okay, that's cool. So. Yeah, I remember that from the first Animal Crossing. It was tied into, because the GameCube wasn't hooked up online. It was tied into the internal clock of the GameCube, so they would have seasonal events based off of what the date was reading as on the clock, and that was cool. But it also allowed you to cheat. You could go into the system, configuration and be like, I want to see the Christmas event. It's April. I'm just going to move my date up.
I wonder how to do that for the Switch. Is a way to counteract that.
I don't know. I'm sure you can set like your date and time, but I don't know. I don't know if it's tied to the
If you're on the internet, then it will just force you to say, hey, here's your time. We went by internet time.
Right.
So,
and the game would probably just like dial into the server anyway, just to double check.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know if there's any way to counteract it. Right. But who knows? That's pointless story.
They talk about expanding, the resident services becomes your main HQ, and you can, do that you could do in the older games, and they keep talking about, expanding your tent to a house and getting excess rooms, put all your stuff in. Like it's just bigger and bigger, and I cannot wait, Dave.
What's so appealing about it to you?
The first thing is getting off my 3DS. I mean, playing
the eye strain was real.
Playing this on an actual TV or a bigger handheld is what appeals to me most. It's one of the most relaxing, enjoyable experiences I've had in gaming. Period.
Okay.
Like it's just I watched that entire direct and just went oh. I don't do that ever.
I'm glad you were alone at that point.
Yeah, I mean, maintenance guy was coming in and out to fix my stuff, but I hide a little bit.
The maintenance guy was like, "Oh, I thought he was at me. I felt good all day."
It was my Mortal Kombat machine I was at, but right, he was at, but
sounded very uncomfortable in your apartment all the way around.
That's how it mostly is around my apartment. Just like, what's going on there?
Oh my god! But anyway, so what about this game is appealing to you over something like Stardew Valley?
As someone who's played maybe like 5 minutes Stardew Valley, I think Animal Crossing is more accessible. I think Stardew Valley is more for if you got to pull up spreadsheets and you got to pull up recipes and stuff or something like that. Animal Crossing can jump in, know what you're doing, just kind of mess around, and you're not really. There is no real task except what do I want to do today.
Gotcha.
What's my goals for today? Do I want to? And you always get rewarded. Like you can always hit rocks and you might be able to get gold out of it. You can smack down trees and then craft something. It's like, okay, I want to go donate this to the museum. It's just that you just kind of just do whatever you want, and at least this time it seems like with the achievement cards to do your punch cards, it's kind of leading you towards it's kind of guiding you on a certain way, so which I kind of enjoy some guidance. But Animal Crossing always, since I picked it up on 3DS, was a game that I just could not put down.
Gotcha. What do you have like a fear for this game?
My fear that it sucks.
I'm doubting it. I sincerely doubt that it's gonna suck.
Right,
I mean, Animal Crossing is not my cup of tea ever since the GameCube days. I played it to death on the GameCube, and then I realized the metagame was really just an endless loop of teaching people to be mindlessly consumeristic. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna go and work so I can pay off my house, and now I've got all this stuff.
Like The Sims.
So I need a bigger house, and I'm gonna keep working to pay off my bigger house. But now I need a bigger house than that. It's I do that in my real life anyway. So, but anyway.
I hope my if there's any fear is that the online community won't be strong, but I feel like because it's going to run a lot on the player base, especially with the multiplayer stuff. So, but a lot of people are very excited for this game, so I imagine that won't be a problem.
Yeah, I'm seeing that a lot of people are excited about it. I've heard some people who are kind of worried about it for some reason, and from a sales aspect, and it's silly for people to get into the sales aspect, but the excitement that I'm seeing online and then the previous history of how well Animal Crossing games do, I mean, I don't feel that there's any danger for this game of not performing.
Yeah.
Some people, anyway.
And I should mention that they do have a good way of kind of weeding out trolls who just want to come over and mess up your island.
Sure.
So if you don't know the person, you can still have them on your island, but they can't use like bug nets or their axe, or they can't terraform your island unless you make them a best friend.
Oh,
and
gotcha.
then once you give them the best friend icon, then they can help you out and do everything with you. So, I thought it was a smart way to deal with people who just want to come over and mess with you.
I think this game's going to do well, and it's also one of those games that has some longevity to it. I think Benji Sales was saying that on Twitter, and I agree entirely. It's a game that's going to come out in March. It's going to sell well initially. It'll probably tail off a little bit in the summer months as other stuff comes out, but then it's going to pick back up again.
Yeah,
once
holiday season
once holiday rolls around.
Yeah.
So
even with Doom coming out the same day.
Well, I think those are two completely different orbits,
Yeah.
Animal Crossing appeals
it's a weird Venn diagram of mostly just me in the middle. Both.
Yeah, you're that intersectional gamer,
I guess,
know?
Yeah.
But
I
mean,
like
if you think about it, Animal Crossing appeals to like the casual gamer, it appeals to the Nintendo fan base, and it appeals to women a lot too. I mean, it's a game that's traditionally done well with girls.
Same way that The Sims did, I think.
Yeah,
and I think also that Animal Crossing is great for streaming. I think in a way that Doom might not. I mean, Doom will be great for streaming as well.
Doom will be great for streaming, but not on the Switch. People are going to want to watch the PC version.
But yeah, Animal Crossing I think is a good way to be a unique stream.
That's something I really didn't think about was, this will be the first Animal Crossing to come out in the post-streaming revolution world.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could definitely make a difference.
Because, I mean, you could say 3DS 1 came out kind of during it, but I don't know how you
can't really, that's tough to do on the 3DS.
Unless you find an emulator, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I'm just going to aim my webcam over this. And,
my hand in the way did my little stylus in there. Yeah, it'll be cool to kind of see how it goes. Because, like, in the same way that The Sims is good for streaming, you can have, like, your life, your second life, not that game, but a second, like, it's going to be cool. And I
don't think I've ever watched a Sims stream.
It's, depending on what they're doing, it can be a lot of fun.
Huh. I've never played The Sims.
That's
ridiculous, right?
I didn't get into Sims until 4. Honestly, I tried 3 and kind of got the gist of it, but then once 4 came out, I said, you know what? Either I'm in or I'm out of the franchise. Like, pick one or the other. So I got in.
Pick a lane, Michael. Pick a lane.
Yeah, and I finally got in. And okay, I understand the appeal. I enjoyed it. It was more accessible to someone like me who was not a Sims player. But, the thing is, you gotta get ready for all the packs coming in later. You gotta pay for all the expansions, and I was like, oh god. So it can be a chore, that's for sure. But
so does Animal Crossing still have the old games in them?
How so?
Oh man, so back in the day when the first Animal Crossing launched on GameCube back in 2002, they launched this accessory called the e-reader. And you hook this into your Game Boy Advance, and then you had some other stupid cord that hooked from the Game Boy Advance into your GameCube.
Sure.
And then you could have the privilege of going to buy these Animal Crossing card packs, and you would scan. They came in like packs of 5, and you'd scan them into your e-reader one at a time, and it would unlock an old NES game.
Wow.
And it's like, oh my god, I unlocked Balloon Fight. And this probably gave them the idea, like, maybe someday we'll launch like the eShop or something like that and
Sure.
sell these old NES games. But yeah, that's how they did it back then through Animal Crossing. That was one of the big hooks, was like, hey, you can play a bunch of NES games through this thing by buying these card packs. And I was like, sign me up, Scotty.
Yeah. Now the card packs are
Now it's in a box.
Now there's card packs or those card amiibos that came with Happy House Hunter, Happy Home Designer, excuse me. But you can use amiibos and the amiibo cards to get those characters in the game.
Gotcha.
Some work, some are coming later. They said
it would be so funny if they went way overboard on Animal Crossing amiibos. So not just like character amiibos, but also like item amiibos.
Oh, sure.
And then house amiibos.
Sure.
So you should be able to build like your Animal Crossing Barbie dream house through amiibos.
I wouldn't put it past them.
But people would buy it. That's the problem. People would buy it.
Of course they would.
I still can't believe we don't have Overwatch amiibos.
I know.
What is wrong?
I would collect the crap out of those.
Yeah.
I'm getting all those pop vinyl figures, but because that's the series I want everything for.
I'm not a big pop vinyl fan though.
I became less of one recently, but I still have a good collection of them. But I still want all the Overwatch ones because it's Overwatch.
Do you feel like Nintendo is kind of getting away from the whole amiibo thing? I just feel like it's not a big deal for them anymore.
It's not as big of a deal anymore. I'm assuming they're selling well. I'm sure. I think now it's more of a deal of let's have special ones instead of just. I mean, the biggest thing was for Smash, obviously.
Right.
But I think now they're like, okay, let's put out some amiibos for our bigger games because people will buy those. So I think it's not, and they somehow they look a lot better. Like, for some reason they look like more detail was done on them.
Oh, really?
Like the difference between my Mario 1 and my Simon Belmont 1, it's the poses like look grander. It seems like more work went into Simon than Mario. I'm not saying Mario looks bad. I'm just saying I can tell like, oh, Simon had more work done.
It's the fourth generation.
It's a later one, But yeah, I think they're going away from. I don't think it's going away altogether anytime soon. But I think they're kind of leaning less on those.
Gotcha. I wonder how much amiibos actually earned a lifetime. I'd be kind of curious.
Some were going for a pretty penny for quite some time.
Yeah.
And there are some rare ones out there. Maybe that's the thing they want to do is let's make some rare amiibos.
Maybe. Anyway, that was a random thought. So anyway, you're all thumbs up and ready to rock on Animal Crossing.
Yeah, and I might watch it again and do like a reaction because people love reaction videos.
Yeah, they do.
I'm 35, so why not 34? Why the hell not?
So
yeah, I'm excited.
So what will you play first come March 20th? Will it be Doom or will it be Animal Crossing?
Animal Crossing.
Really?
I feel like it will take me longer to get my character set up in Animal Crossing and get my bearings in that game. With Doom, I'll just pick it up and start shooting.
Gotcha.
I think I'll stream Animal Crossing for sure and just kind of like begin my life in the desert island, kind of get that going because the game's even happening when you're not playing it. Like time still goes by and stuff happens. Happens in the game where we're not playing it. So if I can just get that going before jumping into Doom Eternal for a little bit, that's kind of my plan.
Gotcha. All right, I'm just curious on that.
Yep.
Any last thoughts on Animal Crossing before we jump off that island?
A month seems so far away.
I know, it's crazy. March 20th, it'll be springtime hopefully by then, and warmer weather.
And then at that point we're within a month away from FF7 remake.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of which, where the hell is the demo for that already?
I thought you said it was up.
It's loaded in the PSN database. I mean, people have hacked into it. People have played it. You can watch like full walkthrough videos of it on YouTube right now. I don't know. It's in the database. I don't know why Square just doesn't say, all right, all they got to do is flip a switch at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're waiting for.
Well, are they waiting for PAX? No,
I don't know. That's a possibility.
Are they going to have, even with Sony not being at PAX, it's like a little segue, watch me do this.
Nice.
Even with Sony not being at PAX, are they going to have the demos at PAX?
I don't know. Because the big thing for Sony, I think, was not only that, but also Last of Us Part 2. Yeah. So yeah, that was the next subject that I was going to get into was...
You mean a professional.
You got it, man. You got it.
Man.
So yeah, just yesterday, Sony was all set to attend the Penny Arcade Expo out in Boston, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Boston.
Yep.
They were going to show off Final Fantasy VII Remake. They were going to show off the very first time playable version of The Last of Us Part 2. But then yesterday, Sony came out and said, hang on a second, we're pulling out. We're not going to PAX because of this coronavirus. Mm-hmm. And then just today it broke. They're not going to GDC. They said we are not going to GDC because of the coronavirus. And that is a huge deal. Again, I scrolling through Twitter, I think it was Benji Sales commented on this saying that it was, this was a big deal because with a theoretical PlayStation 5 reveal coming up, I can't remember verbatim, but with a theoretical PlayStation 5 reveal coming up, GDC would be the place where Sony would go and kind of talk with developers and get final things kind of ironed out with developers and stuff like that. That's just not going to happen. Also, Facebook with Oculus Quest pulled out of Game Developer Conference today as well. So, and they're doing it out of concern for the coronavirus, which has not been reported as being a big deal in the U.S. as of yet, but obviously it's still a huge deal in China, huge deal in Asia at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of pulling out indeed. So I think it's starting to become more of a possibility if this thing doesn't get under control. There is a possibility, I think, that we could see next gen delayed into 2021 because of this.
For Sony especially, I don't think Microsoft will be too affected by this. Doesn't seem like they have been affected by this in the way that Sony has been.
Right.
And I think the title of our show is Time to Panic. I don't think it's panic time.
Right. I wouldn't say it's panic time yet.
But it's definitely something to be concerned about.
Right.
And and Sony. I'm on Sony's side here. Because until first and foremost, safety is the biggest thing, and with something I don't want to call it the plague, it's not the plague, but
not yet.
With something out there that's affecting so many people's lives and ending lives, you want to be as safe as possible. Granted, you don't want to be a hermit and staying indoors all day.
That's kind of what I've been doing.
But no, they're absolutely right to not be at these events due to health issues. So don't panic yet, but definitely be concerned.
Don't panic, but hit the knees and start praying is what I've been telling people.
Yeah,
I think the concern is definitely. I think the possibility is real that we could see a delay in next gen, and I don't have any inside sources or anything like this. I'm just going off of what I've been seeing, how I've seen the virus progressing. And going off of the moves that I'm seeing that Sony is doing, going off like chatter that I'm seeing on the internet and stuff, I think that I would put it at this point between 30 and 35% that we see a delay, that we see next gen wait until 2021.
Okay.
John Scar over he writes for the Best Buy. He writes for Best Buy over in Canada.
Okay.
He posted a poll yesterday, really interesting, asking if people would be upset if there was a delay of next gen into 2021. And I think it was like 73% of people say they would not be upset to see a delay into 2021.
Right.
Commander Captain Smokey Q in the Twitch chat says, as far as I'm aware, this is sage advice. As far as I'm aware, the best advice so far has been for me, don't get the virus. Don't do it. Don't.
Pretty good.
Stay away, a virus.
Pretty
Stay
good.
away.
Yeah.
Hey. I like it.
Yeah, it's
wisdom.
It's a real serious issue, and
it is a real serious.
I would also not be upset if next gen got pushed to next year. Obviously, my wallet would appreciate that too. But I mean, again, I think Microsoft's on course for this year. I think if anything's bothering them, they're not announcing it.
Right.
If anything is stunting them from going forward with the Xbox, they haven't said anything yet. So I think the Xbox is still on course. I think if anybody gets affected, it's Sony.
Right.
So my Steam sales. Oh God. I did there's a VR sale on Humble Bundle that I my wallet took a little bit of a shot there from all the VR games I picked up on Humble Bundle. I picked up Elder Scrolls, Skyrim VR, and
Ooh, nice.
because it was on sale for like $20, and I went,
Ooh,
yeah, okay,
that's tasty.
I'll
that's
try it.
tasty.
So, yeah,
you got to tell me how that is. That's like one of the few games that I'm like, VR. Oh, that would really push me to VR.
I gotta do some modding for it, but because I'm gonna mod out the spiders, because I would.
Oh my gosh!
I would not be able to handle that if it was like elephant-sized spiders attacking me. So I'm gonna mod those out, which there are some mods out there for that. So, I hooked up my Oculus back up and got my room space together.
Ah, you're gonna put in the nudie mods.
I mean,
I've now gotten 160 games that I never knew I wanted, nor have I played them.
See, because,
there you go.
They go on a big sale, and I heard that game,
yeah.
yoink, and then you buy it, and all of a sudden, like, oh, I guess I own this game now. So
I haven't counted my Steam library in a long time, but I'm sure
it does it for you now.
There.
There's a tab up top that says, all games, here's what's installed versus how many you actually have. I think I'm almost 1,000 games in Steam.
Oh my gosh,
and
that's crazy.
I look at that and go, oh, there's my bank account goes right there.
No, it's my retirement plan. It's my retirement plan. Yeah. When I retire, I'm going to hit the backlog.
And that's not even kind of like my games on Origin or Xbox app or Origin. Did I say Origin already? Or Epic Game Store or Good Old Games. It's like, boy, 209 games now and DLC 250. Ooh. DLC especially, yeah, that's... Because there's always a sale happening on Steam. Whether it's then you go midweek to sale or your seasonal sales.
You go to some of the other like third-party sites, like Fanatical has
all the time,
awesome bundles. You get like 10 games for $1.
Yep. They're having their big bundle blowout right now. Like every few minutes they put up a new bundle on Fanatical.
Somebody might have been looking at that before you came over.
I know. There was one that got sold out. I was pissed about because it was like $3 and it had KOF 14.
Oh, no way.
And it was sold out before I got there. Sure, God. So I'll buy the PC version too, because I love KOF, no matter what it is. So
Commander Captain Smokey Q says Humble Bundle game bundles are amazing.
They are.
I agree.
They're really good.
Oh,
you can pay $1 and get games. It's amazing.
I love it when they've got like decent software that's on sale as well. Yeah,
they have like the Vegas stuff or like the
like
half
pick
off.
that up. Yeah, I get like 50 bajillion things for $20.
It's fantastic.
God. That's the nice thing about digital distribution. It's they bundle all this stuff together.
And it goes to charity.
That's true. You even get comics. Yeah, that's right. Comics, they got the ebooks and stuff.
Yep. Humble Bundle, the best deal in gaming.
Buying stuff.
Yeah.
Buying stuff is great. I wish that Humble Bundle were able to do console stuff a little bit more often.
Besides Switch. And again, it's Switch, so there ain't many big sales on Switch games.
Right.
Because Nintendo hates sales.
Man, oh man, I'm really hoping that this is more off topic, but I'm hoping that that Star Ocean remake, I'd like that to go on sale.
Yeah. I mean, Green Man Gaming does a lot of like PS4 stuff. They do some console stuff. If you do Green Man Gaming,
I don't know why. For some reason, I feel like Green Man is shady.
I think so.
I don't know why. I don't know why I have that perception.
I've not bought off of them. I buy from Fanatical or Humble Bundle or just from Steam, depending on what's cheaper. So. I'm a Humble Bundle subscriber, so I get
nice
10% off, and they have Humble Choice now. It used to be where they would give you like 10 games, that here you go. Now with Humble Choice, they give you like 10 or 15 games that you get to choose which ones you want.
How much is that a month?
$12 a month.
$12 a month. Nah, I can't do. I've already got Game Pass going. I can't do another subscription.
$12 a month, and you get 10% off the entire store, and you get Humble Choice. It's a hell of a deal.
Yeah, it sounds like a great deal. It's way too much. How? I know we talked about this before, but you got to ask yourself at what point.
$100 for a year. Also, it's a good plan too. You pay $100 for a year or $12 a month.
Like, what point though does the bottom collapse on all these subscription services? Because you have all these gaming subscription services you got to pay for. You have all the video subscription services that you got to pay for. Plus, you got to pay for like internet and the lighting bill and all that crap as well. So it just adds up.
Feel like, and also what happens with the games when that bottoms out. I mean, Humble stuff you get to keep no matter what.
Sure,
but like for Xbox stuff and Origin stuff, they take stuff out of the library all the time. It's like Netflix. Here's some games coming out this month. We're taking some games away.
Yeah, that kind of that's a little.
And if you don't have Origin Access Premier, you can't play those games. So it's like when the bottom drops out.
Yep.
Ta-da.
Yep. But anyway, getting back to coronavirus and Sony, Sony not showing up at PAX. I now live in a Starbucks, but my subscription still works.
Oh man,
Yes.
living in a Starbucks.
Oh man. I know some people who would be very happy about living in a Starbucks.
I would love the smell of that, and you get the smooth jazz all the time. Oh man,
you might get tired of the smooth jazz.
I mean, you go outside.
That's true.
You don't have to stay inside. And
Anyway.
just put a new CD on the boombox, or get some live bands coming in, open mic nights.
I am wondering, because it seems like such a drastic move that Sony's pulling out, and you're not seeing other companies pull out.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, here's tinfoil hat Dave now.
Okay, here's your theory.
I'm wondering if somebody at Sony has gotten a tip off about the real numbers of what's going on in China over the coronavirus. And I'm wondering that because I believe Tencent is actually doing the official calculations. They're doing the data collection for the Chinese government in China. Of course, Tencent has a relationship with every damn video game company in the world now, it seems like,
Right.
including Sony. But a couple of weeks ago, Tencent accidentally let slip the real number, or at least what we're thinking was the real number as of 2 weeks ago. You know, they're saying, oh, it's only a few hundred people in China. Tencent let it slip on accident that it was 24,000 dead in China 2 weeks ago from the coronavirus. So I'm wondering, conspiracy theory Dave is like, well, do we have somebody talking to Sony on the back channel saying, hey, you know what? It's like 100,000 people dead right now. I wouldn't go anywhere at this point. And I have...
Or what
again, that's just conspiracy theory Dave talking.
Or what if it was just an extra zero? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
either. It
could
be anything.
It could be anything, but we know the situation is a hell of a lot worse in China than what they're saying right now.
Sure.
And now you got it spreading to South Korea. You've got people quarantined in South Korea. I heard there were 5 cases that just popped up in Iran, of all places, just today. So this is something unlike anything else that we've seen. The scariest thing, you know, you've got all these people. You got we got the airport detectors. We're scanning you for a fever. That doesn't do anything. This virus, if you get infected with it, you don't know that you're infected, and you're contagious for up to like 12 days before you start showing symptoms that you're sick.
Sure.
And through that 12 days, you're spreading it around, and it lives on surfaces. I think I read somewhere that if you live on it lives on surfaces for like up to 9 days. So, you know, I catch it, I'm walking around, I walk to the airport, I got my hands on the airplane seat, I go to the bathroom, I got my hand on the doorknob and everything, I sneeze a couple times, I'm touching stuff in the airport restaurants, I'm walking around. All of that is spreading around and coming in contact with other people who are then getting sick and then spreading around. It's just a hell of a lot of potential for disaster at this point.
Yep, and I can see your theory, and I'm going to theorize that Sony's just playing it safe.
Yeah, and that's, you know, like I said, that's just Dave's wild conspiracy theory. I'm not saying that's what I believe.
Not saying you're right, not saying you're wrong.
Exactly.
So.
I'm just throwing it out there because I like to talk a lot.
That's why we do a show every week, because we want to talk.
Let's see. If you look closely on the numbers, you'll see the Reptoid sticking out. Oh, yeah. David Icke told me about that. I know what you're talking about.
What's a Reptoid?
David Icke is a British author, and I guess one would say conspiracy theorist, but he's a really interesting cat. He's written a lot of books about how the ruling elite he called them like lizard people.
Okay.
But it's not lizard people in the sense that, you know, they rip off a mask and, you know, they've got a lizard living inside or anything like that. He's talking about like kind of this instinct that these people go by. You'd have to listen to David Icke interviews. When I first heard about him, I actually almost bought a book back in 2004 that he had written because I was just going to laugh at it. But, you know, actually listening to interviews, he's a really intelligent guy. Makes a lot of sense, but, you know, I don't know if he's right. I don't know if he's wrong. It's just, I like to listen to people. That's it.
There you go.
That's enough about doom and gloom.
Doom is next month.
It has been kind of, you know, it's been a slow week in the video game world.
Yeah.
I think there's just a lot that's in limbo. I keep telling people privately, all bets are off this year now because of this virus.
Sure.
And what does that mean? It means we don't know what's going to happen. The situation is fluid.
Yeah.
Next gen could get delayed. And hopefully not. Hopefully everything just, hopefully this virus dies out and everything goes back to normal.
Right.
And, but, we don't know what's going to happen right now. And that's why I say all bets are off. We don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, anyway, let's talk about, last week we did part 1 of honoring and remembering the games of 1995.
This is where my thing comes in.
What kind of show is this becoming?
Clip that and giggity.
Woo!
So last week we discussed about about games that came out 25 years ago.
Yes.
And we got to a SNES game that you like.
Yes.
That I don't like.
Yoshi's Island, one of the greatest Super Nintendo games ever produced.
You're incorrect. Here's why. So you made the bold claim.
The bold claim
that Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island was in the top 10 on the SNES library.
Yes.
So I have gone ahead and created a list.
All right.
Now, I won't talk about every single game in detail. We'll be here forever. If I listed every game better than Mario World 2, we'll be here all day. Because every game's better. Well, not every game's better. I have 20 games here that I would say are better games on the SNES than Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
In no particular order.
Okay, no particular order.
All right, we'll start with Super Mario World.
Okay.
Is a better game. Elites. I'll play more Elite Dangerous right now, especially in VR. It's a great game. Super Mario World 1 is a better game.
I'd say it belongs in the top 10 list, yeah.
The Legend of Zelda Link to the Past.
Okay, that belongs in the top 10.
Super Metroid.
Okay, definitely. Some say the best Super Nintendo game ever made.
Chrono Trigger.
Absolutely.
Super Castlevania 4. I mean, I'm right. Whether you think it belongs or not, I'm right.
No, I don't think it blows. It's a fine game, but I wouldn't put it above Yoshi's Island.
Saturday Night Slam Masters is a better SNES game.
I definitely wouldn't put it...
Super Smash TV is a better SNES game.
No, I wouldn't put that above Yoshi's Island either.
Mega Man X.
Mega Man X, I would say, belongs in the top 10. So you have 5 of those games, I'd say, belong in top 10.
Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Okay, I'll put you there.
Contra 3 The Alien Wars.
I'm iffy. I would say that's in the top 20 for sure, but I wouldn't rank that above Yoshi's Island.
Earthbound.
No, I definitely wouldn't rank.
Star Fox.
Star Fox? Oh my gosh, that's iffy. I think that's not a personal top 10 for me.
F-Zero.
See, I'm more of a Mario Kart guy.
Super Mario Kart.
Okay, I'll do that.
Super Mario RPG.
Again, that's like maybe top 15 for sure. I would put...
Well, about 20 games here, so yeah, they're my top 20.
I think I'd have to put Yoshi's Island and then Donkey Kong Country to round out that top 10.
I'm not done yet. Uniracers is a better...
No, it's not!
Is a better SNES game.
No, it's not!
Than
What
Mario
universe
World 2.
is Uniracers better than Yoshi's Island?
In every universe.
No, it's not.
It's a better game.
I think you rode the unicycle a little too hard.
It's a fantastic game.
No, it's...
Rock and Roll Racing, also a better SNES game.
What? It's RC Pro-Am with some better MIDI music.
Made by Blizzard.
Made by Blizzard. Darn good game.
TMNT 4 Turtles in Time.
Definitely
is a
not.
better SNES game.
That is a fantastic game. I would throw that in the top 20 easy, maybe top 15.
Fine.
But damn it, no, it's not better than Yoshi's
Final
Island.
Fantasy 3.
Final Fantasy 3 now. See, there's a good tough call. And that's why I said Super Mario RPG probably wouldn't rank in my top 10 list. It would have to be relegated to top 20. I think you could argue, if you want to make an official list, I would probably swap Star Fox out for Final Fantasy 3.
I'd also throw in Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Is a better SNES game.
It is not.
Than Yoshi's Island.
It is not. Absolutely
it's a far
not.
superior game.
It is not.
It's
a good game. I liked the game. I played the game. It would be an excellent mobile game, but it's not It's not a better game than Yoshi's Island.
That is 21 games now that are better than Yoshi's Island.
In what universe is I can't get over how Uniracers is somehow better than Yoshi's Island.
Because I actually like playing Uniracers. How's that?
That doesn't.
There's no crying babies in Uniracers.
Okay, a lot of people like playing Final Fantasy Tactics, and I don't like playing SRPGs. I'm not saying that Final Fantasy Tactics is a bad game. It's a fantastic game.
It's a fantastic game.
It's just not a game that I want to play. There's plenty of other games that people would probably say I'm an idiot for liking better than Final Fantasy Tactics, but I wouldn't say that game is necessarily better than Final Fantasy.
I would even put ActRaiser up there too as being better than Yoshi's Island. ActRaiser is a hell of a game.
No, Yoshi's Island is top 10, man. Yes, it's not. I went over this yesterday. It was top 10 in how pioneering it was for the rest of the Mario series that came after it, and for side-scrolling 2D platformers that came after it in the way that they handled exploration and the way that they handled collectibles. I love its graphical style. I think its graphical style was really bold for the era that they were in. I mean, I can give you a logical, scientific argument for why it's an excellent game. So if you wanna write a thesis about Uniracers,
I would love to.
Okay, well, have at it. Next week, Jefferoff, the one-wing gamer, will present his thesis, his case study on why Uniracers is a superior game to Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. Here we go.
Without Uniracers, we wouldn't have GTA. So eat that.
What?
It was DMA Design. The group that went on to become Rockstar North made Uniracers.
Okay.
So there. I had another game too. If you throw in like Super Famicom games, then we're completely out of the top 10. I would put all the Fire Pro Wrestling games in there. I would put the Fireman was a great game, better game than Yoshi's Island 2.
Are you gonna tell me next that
Reddit? Okay, a better game that I didn't mention. Go ahead.
Okay,
we're listening, but.
I'm waiting for Ren and Stimpy Fire Dogs to be told he ranked as a better game.
You may have found a worse game than Yoshi's Island.
Vortex was a better game, dude. A Super FX chip was
I would just like R-Type 3 is a better game.
Oh, you smoke. Smoke.
I do not. Takeshi's Challenge.
What is that? Takeshi's Challenge Master Race?
That might be on my Raspberry Pi. Legend of Mystical Ninja is a better game.
No.
Yes, it is.
No.
Yes, it is.
I'm not saying that these are bad games. I'm just saying that Yoshi's Island is better than a lot of those games.
You think it's top 10? I think it's like middle of the pack at best.
No, it's the top 10 game. It's fantastic.
I mean, UMK3 came out on SNES. It's not as good as the arcade, but it's better than frickin'
I wouldn't put Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 in the top 20. I'm sorry. I am sorry.
I mean, Street Fighter 2 Turbo is the best fighting game on SNES.
It is the best fighting game, but I would say that there's a lot better fighting games.
Did you ever play the version of Alpha on the SNES? It was okay for what it was.
Yeah, I didn't play that.
The PS1 version was better, obviously, but the SNES was alright. It's pretty mostly entertaining.
Hey, this is the most entertaining discussion I've ever kind of participated, mostly spectated. You guys gotta follow. We did it! We did it!
Thank
USA! USA! Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
We're a small group of freelance journalists who just love gaming and
arguing with each other.
Give each other shit.
We're gonna fight later.
I understand that Yoshi's Island is not like a terrible game. I just don't like it, and I love the fact that he loves it so much. And I just want to. It's not a good game.
It is a.
Compared to the first game, compared to Mario World 1.
They're apples
if
and
the
oranges,
game was not if the game was not called Mario World, I would have been fine with it.
They're apples and oranges.
Norwegian. Cheers to Norway, man.
Oh wow! Hey, cheers to Norway, man. Congrats.
Not sure what language that was. Was that like
what?
I think that was Norwegian.
I don't know. That was not a Norwegian accent. Woo! All right. Anyway, what we're really supposed to be covering at this point.
That's the thing.
Oh my God! 4 a.m.
4 a.m.
Nice.
On a work day.
Woo!
Man.
Are you starting your weekend? Is it party time now in Norway? Is it time? All right. So what we're supposed to be talking about?
Yeah.
What we're supposed to be talking about are the
Yar.
games from 1995, celebrating those games because, damn it, 1995 was 25 years ago. Some way,
it was...
somehow, we lived that because we're old.
Yeah, and it was a big year too. We got into a lot of pulling reverse Uno on your sleep schedule. Yeah,
Dang.
Me too. And which is that? 'Cause I start my new job Monday, so I got to get back on the regular Uno.
Uh-oh. That's going to be a crucial weekend for
I
you.
took a nap most of the day.
Yeah.
I got up around 8 o'clock. I was like, okay, get myself back in work mode, and maintenance is coming over to fix my stuff at the apartment. So let's get back up, and then
and
then,
apparently you.
then I guess, and then they left at around like 11 this morning, and I was like, okay. I did some video editing for the stream, and I'm like, okay,
nice.
And then it was. I was out for like 3 or 4 hours.
So why 25? I don't know. 25 just has a nice round.
Yeah,
I don't know. People make a big deal out of the 25th anniversary.
The silver anniversary, I believe.
Yeah, I think so.
For me, I don't know if you want to get into this topic today, but it was the beginning of the end for Sega and the beginning of the rise of Sony.
Oh yeah,
because all in one, basically in one small time frame. Because 25 years ago, the Sega Saturn got announced and released the same day, which is insane. Because the story went that it was the very first E3.
Yes.
And Sega got on stage and said and unveiled the Sega Saturn and went, "It's available now."
Yep.
And nobody was ready for it.
And the thing was, Saturn was originally supposed to launch in the fall, I think in September of 1995, and then Sony was coming into the marketplace here in the U.S.
Yep.
They, both systems were already out in Japan and competing, and
they do. They do. Sega does do some great stuff today. It was just the beginning of their console life,
right?
And this is somebody who's my favorite console of all time is the Dreamcast. So. I'll get into the Dreamcast discussion on a different show because I love the Dreamcast with all my heart. But the Saturn was the beginning of the undoing for Sega console wise.
So as a panic move, they launched the Saturn same day that they announced it with select retailers. So I think it was like Toys R Us and a few other retailers actually got Saturn.
I don't think GameStop even got it.
Right.
And the one that did get it didn't have enough.
Yeah, it was a very limited release. Hardly any games were out. They were just trying to get that jump over the PlayStation. It was just a disaster. It's not a good idea to launch a system before the rest of your third-party partners are ready.
Games getting released on E3, that's fine. We've seen that happen before recently, and it's great. I can just go home and download it. But a full console. When you're not saving up for it money-wise, you're not expecting it. All of a sudden, like, I don't have the money to buy a Saturn, and why should I buy a Saturn? It's. I will say the system is aged very well.
The Saturn has,
yeah, and really, if you want to go to the beginning of the decline, you can go into the Sega CD and 32X.
Sure. As
the beginning of their downfall, they were going to make the Neptune in between the Sega CD and the Saturn, but the Neptune was going to be just a standalone 32X.
Oh, that's right. And then they were like, "No, we got to attach this to the Genesis."
They said, "Well, let's just go to the Saturn."
Yeah.
But no, and this, you're right. The Switch is a fantastic console.
Switch is really
good. Really good.
It's really good. I wish it had a little bit more beefy to it, so you get a few more AAA ports. But for what's there, I mean, it's so good.
There are some fantastic Saturn games. Okay. So the thing was that the Saturn banked on 2D. And those Capcom 2D fighters are fantastic.
Right.
Like X-Men Children of the Atom. The Saturn version is fantastic. But then when, Sony came out and said, "Hey, we're going to 3D."
Yep. They wanted that cheap 3D synthesizer was Kent Kutaraji's dream.
The Saturn just had to wedge in some 3D, and what we got was games like Bug, which is not very good. Yep. But even those like arcade fighter games, like Fighting Vipers and Last Bronx and Fighters Megamix, they're still fun.
They're still fun, yeah.
And Nights into Dreams, I think it's overrated. It's kind of because you had to get the weird controller to play it on. It was weird.
Yeah.
But there are still some great Saturn games, a lot of great Saturn fighting games. But the problem was that when it was released, also at E3, I believe it was Mad Catz was there. Sony wasn't there, but Mad Catz was there with a PlayStation.
Oh, okay.
showing off their new controller for PlayStation 1. And they were showing Toshinden. And the story went that people were more interested seeing Toshinden at the Mad Catz booth than anything that Sega was showing at their booth. So the fact that Sony wasn't even there, but they won.
No, Sony was there because they had a press conference, and that's when their CEO came out to deliver his keynote address back when they still did keynotes, and all he did was said, September 9th, 1995, $299, and then he left the stage. That was his keynote address at E3.
They probably didn't have a booth then there, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
There. But, having... Oh boy, it was.
Yeah, the Saturn was expensive.
Yes, it was.
It was like a $400 system back in 1995. You know, that's like $600 or $800 now.
But also with the Saturn, you had internal memory. You could save your games in the internal memory space, which the PS1 didn't have. You had to buy those damn memory cards. And I think Saturn was the first one to have internal memory as far as consoles go.
Really? Yeah, we didn't really see that until
the Xbox. So that was pretty revolutionary. And also the fact that you can just plug in a action replay into the back of it and import games.
Yes.
And Sega Saturn imports were cheaper, first of all, and they were a lot of fun. A lot of great fighting games.
Yep.
That you could import on the Saturn. So it's the marketing is what was the undoing of the Saturn.
Plus, it was just hard to stop Sony with their price and then the flash that they had.
And the games they came out with, Sony was all in, and it showed.
Yep.
And God, talk about PS1 stuff. The PS1, I think, made me back into a gamer. Because I was kind of like, the NES, I'm a gamer. Genesis, I'm playing some games. I'm kind of focusing on other stuff, like getting into the acting stuff as a young child and performing, what have you. But PS1 came along. I got it for Christmas of '97, I want to say, and I got a handful of games. Toshinden. None of them were like good games, but I got a bunch of games. Toshinden, the first Crash Bandicoot, which was a great game. I played the hell out of that. Space Jam, bad game.
Ooh, yeah.
I got WWF In Your House, which was a sequel to WrestleMania the arcade game.
Yeah, not that great of a
Not
game.
a great of a game. Too Extreme.
But you're going to tell me that it was better somehow than Yoshi's Island.
No.
Okay, that's one.
I also got...
It's one on his list.
I also got a favorite game of ours, Street Fighter the movie.
Oh, God.
Oh. Do they have Smash? But no, the PS1...
Do they have Smash? Nope.
I think of my retro consoles, my retro gaming collection, the PS1 might be the console I had the most games for. Because I just played the hell out of PS1.
Yeah.
It was just revolutionary to me. And, yes, you had to wait for load times for the first time. So I didn't have a Saturn. When it came out, I didn't buy a Saturn. I bought a PS1. As many kids did. Interesting. The PS1 versions of Mortal Kombat were kind of iffy.
Yeah.
Because you had to load all of Shang Tsung's transformations.
Oh, that's right.
Or you could choose to, load 3 or 4 of them to cut down on load, or have them all and load. It was kind of iffy, but they were okay, I guess. I don't know. But, no, I mean, all the Capcom fighting games that came out on the PS1. God damn. All the Alpha games. EX plus Alpha, which is probably one of my favorite Street Fighter games.
Yeah.
Even the non-Capcom games, the Bloody Roars, the Tobal number 1, the fighting game list is large for PS1.
Well, yeah, fighting games were still kind of in their heyday at that point.
And then you throw in here's Castlevania, Symphony of the Night.
Here's Castlevania, Symphony of the Night.
Oh my God.
Here's Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. Yep.
8 was forgettable, but here's Final Fantasy 9, which I think is the best in the series.
Sure. People go nuts for 8. I get it. But.
Yeah. It's hard to believe, back in the 90s, it was really, with the emergence of CD technology, it's kind of like how it is now. I would liken it to this Wild West of gaming, where everybody was kind of trying to muscle in now that we had CD technology, because it was much cheaper now to produce games. With cartridges, you had to pay, Nintendo or Sega, you had to pay $10 a cartridge just to produce it. Right. Nintendo was always iron-fisted. They produced the cartridges themselves, and they were like, all right, in order to be a license of Nintendo, you have to not only buy the cartridges from us before you even produce your game, but you had to put in a minimum order for cartridges. So you have to guess how well your game is going to do.
Right.
So if you overshot, then you've got all this inventory that you're not moving. If you undershot, then you're like scrambling to get more cartridges filled, which if Nintendo's about to market their own game, they're like, we don't have chips. Sorry.
Yeah.
But anyway, so CD technology made it so much easier, so much more affordable for different companies to get into that game. And so you saw, you saw all these new players getting in, like Matsushita with the Panasonic 3DO. You had Philips Technologies with the CDI.
With the Phil Hartman commercial. Did you ever see those commercials
Oh,
with Phil Hartman?
I don't remember.
Oh, they were creepy. I love Phil Hartman, but man, those commercials were creepy. Buy a CDI.
Sounds like they moved on to Google
The
Stadia.
CDI was god awful. Oh,
it was
my
terrible.
God.
It was
they had
terrible.
Nintendo games on it. It was god awful.
Well, there's an interesting story that segues into PlayStation on how those games got on.
Yeah.
But so to get to that story,
Yeah.
so Nintendo was actually going to partner with Sony.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to, with Sega CD launching back in the early 90s, Nintendo said, damn it, we probably should get in on this CD craze as well, see what all the kids are talking about, discs are the new thing. So they looked for a partner to create an add-on for the Super Nintendo. So they settled with Sony to produce what they were going to call the Super Nintendo PlayStation. That was going to be the add-on for the Super Nintendo.
But Play Space Station.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tell you what, I have no clue about what happened 25 years ago, but I do follow modern stuff.
Well, that's why we're here.
That's
to
right.
To
We're
teach
the
you about the
custodians.
past. Because we're old. We're gonna take you back to the past.
Anyway.
To tell you about these shitty things that suck ass.
So anyway, at the Consumer Electronics Show,
yes,
Nintendo was set to announce their partnership with Sony to produce this Nintendo PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
But behind Sony's backs, for some reason, Nintendo's stalwart, crusty CEO at the time, Hiroshi Yamauchi, said, I don't know about this, guys. Let's find a different partner and do something else. So they made a deal with Philips to not produce hardware for the Super Nintendo, but they were going to allow some Super Nintendo games onto the Philips hardware as part of some weird deal, which I'm not even sure what they were trying to do. So instead of being gentlemanly and going to Sony and saying, hey guys, I know we're about to announce our engagement, but I found another girl over here and things kind of got heated in the cloakroom, so I think this wedding is off.
Call it a cloakroom.
I don't know. I've been listening to a lot of Ask Reddit videos just to pass the time.
There's your
Those
problem.
are so entertaining, dude.
There's your problem.
Oh my god. Anyway.
But yeah, what came out of that was 3 Nintendo properties ending up on, 2 properties, but 3 games on the CDI.
So before we get to that, so Nintendo gets out there at CES and announces their partnership with Philips without telling Sony.
Yeah.
Sony is so incensed at this, at being stabbed in the back. They finally said, you know what? F Nintendo. We're going to just move ahead with a development of a console by itself just to get back at Nintendo.
Yep.
And that is the whole reason you've got the Sony PlayStation.
Yep.
Because Nintendo screwed over Sony and Sony wanted to get back at them.
And now look where we are all these years
Look
later,
where we are now 25 years later. Isn't that crazy, though?
So yeah, the games that ended up on the CDI were Hotel Mario and 2 Zelda games. One was actually 3 Zelda games.
Yes.
Excuse me. There was the Wand of... I can't remember how it was now. One was
Link
Zelda...
it was the Faces of Evil.
Faces of Evil. There was the Wand of Gamelon or something like that.
I don't know.
And one was Zelda's Adventure. So 2 of those games were very similar. One you played as Link, one you played as Zelda.
Yes.
And then Zelda's Adventure was a top-down view of playing as Zelda. And they were all just complete shit. Like, it was I would say even worse than Yoshi's Island. They were
You
that
son of a
bad.
bitch. These were really bad. These were like these weird, like Don Bluth style animated games.
Yeah.
No wait, I want Link Faces of Evil. I'm trying to pull this up.
A lot of small loops. Are we cutting in and out probably?
Huh, that's weird. A lot of small loops.
We're trying. We'll blame Mediacom.
I'm not seeing anything on Stream Health. Weird.
Thanks though. Yeah, if things
Yeah.
end up weird, give us a heads up, please. Yeah, Faces of Evil, because there was just like the worst animation.
Here it is.
Yes,
Yes,
put that on
got
the
it.
stream.
Yep. Whoops. Just getting into a random thing here.
And then when you would playing footage and then playing it again. Oh, I got you. Weird.
Oh, I don't know. That might be. Yeah, I'm not sure where that would be coming from.
What
All right, I'm gonna play a little Faces of Evil here. There it is. There it is.
Right over our faces.
Maybe
Are we on top of it? We're on top of it.
we are on top of it.
There.
There we go. All right. Let me just adjust this. Oop. Oop. This is what I had. This is what happens when you try to do stuff on the fly. It always works out. Oh my god. I'm moving the whole damn thing. All right, I'm just going to leave it right over our faces now.
There you go.
Here we
I
go.
shall keep her in my
These are
prison.
like in-game cutscenes.
Yeah,
You're
this,
doing
my
great,
friend, is Link.
You are our
Faces of
hero.
Evil.
Here's a life heart. We know you can beat Ganon.
This is what
doing
Nintendo
great,
decided to
Link.
do
You are our
instead
hero.
of doing
Here's some
a
water
CD
of
system
life.
with
now,
Sony.
Link.
Nintendo didn't really have any say in this. They just said, go nuts.
But I
Yeah.
still not stop the vilest curse. This crystal makes the shield
It's
reflect,
terrible.
cursing the cursor with twice
Even
the
for
curse.
mid-90s.
This is, yeah, it was horrible.
Look and see Goronu.
Wake
up, sleepy bones.
Even the Zelda cartoon was better than this.
Wouldn't it be funny if Nintendo was like, you know what, we're gonna do a remake of this and have it be an actual Zelda adventure?
But after a year,
Oh golly! All right, that's enough of this.
So yeah, there were two of those.
Kill
style
it with
games.
fire.
Yeah.
Kill. Oh, that just killed the webcam.
Way to go. Yeah,
All right.
there were two of those style games, and then Zelda's Adventure, which was top down, which, anywho, what are we talking about again?
Qualified. Quality. We were talking about. I was talking about how. Yeah, I hope Breath of the Wild 2 is in that style.
That's Breath of the Wild 1 DLC, right?
Oh
there.
my god.
God.
So
see,
anyway.
no, he said I gotta go play it now. Like I've been on the fence.
You should be streaming Breath of the Wild.
I should.
Come on,
I want to choose a day where I just take like 8 to 10 hours and just play Breath of the Wild and just get lost in the
That's
world.
what you're doing tomorrow.
Probably.
This is your last few days before you start your new job.
True.
You got to make
Yeah.
the most of it
Yeah,
with gaming.
I know.
With gaming. Dude.
I know.
Anyway, so
Anyway.
what I was saying was that, all right, well, thank you so much for joining. We're here like every Thursday night at
Same
this
time.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
9 Eastern, 8 Central. So definitely stop back in. And we also stream all the live events as well. So when Sony finally decides to do their PlayStation 5 reveal, we'll do that. We try and hit up every Nintendo Direct and do live watch-alongs.
Yep.
E3,
E3.
we do live watch-alongs, so you can hang out with us, watch with us, and comment with us. We love talking with people while we are talking because that just makes everything so much more better and
Love
huggable.
talking to people.
Greetings to Norway. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Commander, Captain, Smokey Q. But what I was saying was that it was very much a Wild West atmosphere with all these companies getting in. And it's kind of the same thing that we have now as we move into this digital streaming age.
Sure.
All these companies potentially getting in now with Google and Apple and, who knows who else might get involved
I mean,
with this.
Verizon might be involved somehow too.
Yeah, Verizon
So-
might be involved. Samsung is partnering with Microsoft for xCloud.
Yep.
So, anyway,
Which the Project xCloud beta is now coming to iOS. I believe so. Right now, as it stands, it goes through a certain app called Test Flight, and only certain people are getting in, and it's only Halo MCC
Oh, wow.
that they're doing for the iOS people. So
That's very interesting.
They're
It
like
is
roll out.
so funny to play. I should get you onto Halo on my phone.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just ridiculous to play Halo Reach on a cell phone.
on a freaking cell phone.
Yeah. Anyway, we should probably get ready to start wrapping this up. Those are about an hour in. But anyway, let's talk a little bit more about games of 1995. Is
Sure.
there one game from that list that you want to highlight?
Well, I gotta put my list back up now. See
Yeah,
what games
pull
came
your
out that
list
year.
up.
Not the games that are better than Yoshi's Island. That's a long list, and they didn't all come out in '95. So I mean,
That's what we need to do. We need to have a special Nerd Bacon Game Tasty episode called The Trial of Yoshi's Island, where you, as the prosecuting attorney, make your case on why all of these games that I say are not as good as Yoshi Island are better than Yoshi's Island.
I still say I will stream. I will play through that game sometime this year. We'll do it for charity.
I
It'd be
think
fun.
that would be really entertaining. And if we could wear powdered wigs while we were doing this, that would be even more entertaining.
All right. Well, of the games that came out in '95, which game would I say is the most important? Is that what the question is here?
Oh, I'm just saying what was next on our list. I don't remember where we left off last
We
week.
kind of got near the end. Let me pull down my list.
Did
here.
we?
We kind of got near the end a
Oh
little
my
bit.
god.
You mentioned Final Fight 3, Suikoden on the PS1.
Oh my gosh. Have you played through Suikoden?
No, I have that in my ways of having games played on TVs. But no, I would like to play. I hear that and 2. I hear are both fantastic games.
I really haven't played a whole lot of it. I've played maybe like 5 hours or so, but what I've played of that really charming game.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a game that is stuck between two eras. It still has so much of the 16-bit sensibilities, because I think that game came out in 95 or 95.
95.
That's why you mentioned
I
it.
just said it.
Yeah. So for a game that came out in 95, it's a game that came out on 32-bit hardware, but it still has all of these 16-bit sensibilities. And I would say that 16-bit charm that,
Sure.
games kind of started distilling out as we went on. So it maybe not quite to it has like this dichotomy to it, maybe not to the degree that Xenogears did 3 years later.
Sure.
But still, you can kind of see how designers were trying to learn new things as they headed off into this new generation of hardware. It's very cool, but
Yeah.
really cool game. I love the sprite work. I love the soundtrack to that game. So definitely worth playing.
Yeah. That was in December, along with Tales of Fantasia on the SNES.
Oh my gosh,
A
there's
better game than the Yoshi's Island.
you've never played it. It didn't get an American release. Did not get an American release, but I remember reading that in Nintendo Power and my post Chrono Trigger Halo feeling here of like, oh my god, Chrono Trigger. Just
Oh, my Chrono Trigger.
oh my Chrono Trigger. I really, really wanted to play Tales of Symphonia back in the day.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Reading about that in Nintendo Power. Thing about that one, they had a lot of voice work, I think, on the cartridge, which was kind of impressive at the time. I think that was a pretty hefty sized cartridge, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just never got a release in the US. But thankfully, later on, we would see the Tales series hit PlayStation 1, and then it exploded on, I think, GameCube.
Yes. And then we got some of the Xbox 360 and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
and now we've got a Tales game every 2 weeks.
Pretty much. Secret of Evermore on the SNES.
Holy buckets. There's a game that's kind of like a cross between Secret of Mana and Earthbound.
Yeah.
Because this was the only game produced by Square's US studio. They opened up a studio in the US, and this was what they came up with, and then they closed down after that. I don't know if the game just didn't sell well or what happened with it. But this one was like Secret of Mana. It was like an action RPG. It used pretty much the same combat system, but it had like this cool like sci-fi movie vibe to it, almost like Earthbound did.
Right.
But I think the kid was actually in that game. I think he was like a movie nut, and he kept getting transported into like all these different movie scenarios. I didn't get through the entire game. I remember renting it, and for some reason I was having trouble with trying to get through the combat system. I don't know what my deal was with it. That's a good game to go back and try on an emulator.
There you go.
Yeah.
If only I knew. Oh, I do. Let me fly through a couple more here while we're kind of...
It was a really, again, like one of those late era Super Nintendo games, really lush sprite work. Yeah, really cool. I'd love to have like a cartridge version of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yas. Terranigma on the SNES. Destruction Derby on the PS1.
Terranigma. Now, there's a game that did not come over to the U.S., but a lot of YouTubers out there, a lot of different places will say this was one of the top 10 Super Nintendo RPGs that ever came out.
Right. It was in Japan in October 95. It came out in PAL territories in 96, December 96.
Yeah.
If you look hard enough, which I did, there are translations.
Yes,
and
there
ways
are
to,
some
and ways to play it
translations.
in the States as of this day. So might be something that I go back and do.
Yeah.
Destruction Derby in the PS1. Loved that game.
Yep.
Obviously, we mentioned Twisted Metal last week.
Yeah, we talked Twisted Metal last week.
Was.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong Country 2.
Donkey Kong Country 2 with... man. So... I don't even know where to begin on this game.
The Donkey Kong Country games I thought were all pretty good. The soundtrack to me was better than the actual. Like I preferred hearing it than playing it. In most cases, the minecart levels are annoying as hell. But like they're very important games.
I would say Mario World and I would say Yoshi's Island were a bit better as far as a level design and just from a design standpoint. I think they were better. But man, oh man, that presentation and as you said, soundtrack that David Wise put out for both Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong Country 2, holy buckets. Just like those are top 10 soundtracks for the Super Nintendo right there.
Yes.
Donkey Kong.
That and Killer Instinct.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Donkey Kong Country was such a again, visually lush game. It looked even better than Donkey Kong Country did. Donkey Kong wasn't playable. It was Diddy, and then they introduced the girl character Dixie Kong.
Yep.
And she would attack characters with her ponytail, and then her ponytail could be like a helicopter, almost like Tails from Sonic the Hedgehog.
Can't wait till she's in Smash.
Yeah, really. Huh.
Minecraft Steve. I'm calling it now. Minecraft Steve is going to be in the next pack of fighters.
The next pack of fighters is going to be all failed 90s icons. So it's going to be Bubsy,
Crash. No, Crash wasn't.
Crash wasn't failed. So it's going to be Bubsy, Blasto,
Okay.
Arrow the Acrobat.
Oh God! How about Awesome Possum?
Awesome Possum.
Yeah.
Gex.
Gex. Oh,
Dana
God.
Gold's coming back for
Glover.
Gex.
Put Glover in there.
Yes, Glover.
You gotta love the glove.
Wouldn't that be great if it was just like a whole pack of like troll 90s characters?
To hear Jim Ross mention, because Glover sponsored a WWF pay-per-view, and he went, "You gotta love the glove." It's like, JR, why are you doing this?
What the hell am I saying, guys?
My ass.
Oh my gosh.
Mega Man X3 came out in December. Dragon Quest 6 on the SNES came out in December. Both obviously better games than Yoshi's Island.
Uh-oh. Hang on just a second.
Mentioned Final Phone.
Hello?
We're live, pal.
I know. Okay, I'm on the air.
We're live, pal.
All right, I'll see you in a little bit. Bye. Sorry. It was the wife calling.
I should also mention what also happened in that year. The Game Boy Play It Loud series. So it was the Game Boy, so not color yet, but it was the different colors of the Game Boy.
Play It Loud. No, that was like a whole marketing campaign.
Yeah.
Play It Loud was like the Super Nintendo marketing campaign. And I think late 1995, or maybe it was early 1996, they replaced that with who needs a new system, and highlighting all these awesome Super Nintendo games that were coming out. And even then, like, a young 15-year-old Watchman was like, you guys, you're coming out with a new system in 96. You shouldn't be putting out a marketing campaign that says who needs a new system. Because a few months later, when N64 came out in 96, the marketing slogan was, and I kid you not because I remember this so clearly, it was, change the system. Oh, fudge.
April 23rd, this Teleview came out in Japan. Huh. How you could play games broadcasted over the network. You could basically play versions of Zelda or Excite Bike at certain points, and that can we do a whole podcast on that, so I won't get into that too much. But that was incredible. You can, like, everyone could just gather around their TVs at a certain time and play like a chapter of Zelda or play a race of Excite Bike.
That's right.
Together.
That's right.
As a country, it was amazing.
It would be really cool, and I've heard people talk about this, but it would be really cool. There are ways that they could do that, like expand upon that now that we have this beautiful thing called the internet and Xbox Live and all that stuff.
I would, we had to mention this. July 21st, 1995 was the release of the Virtual Boy.
Wow. And that is where I think we'll cut it off, and we're going to come back next week and we'll talk about Virtual Boy. Yeah.
And the rise and the fall of Virtual Boy.
Yes, but more importantly, the fall of Gunpei Yoki. Yes. Anyway, that's about all the time that we have for this week's episode. We packed it in.
We did. And
it was so packed. We packed the powder down into the musket. We're ready to explode with the...
We love retro games. We love modern games. And so we geek out over both. I think
that's right.
There's room for both in this world.
Speaking of crazy retro stuff, did you see that Tiger Electronics...
Oh, yeah, I saw this.
They're re-releasing their old crappy LCD handhelds.
I would buy one for nostalgia's sake, but I wouldn't actually play it. Like,
no, they were bad.
And we both had these. I guarantee everybody.
I had a Sonic the Hedgehog LCD.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I know there's no way my parents are going to be able to buy me a Genesis, but I can talk them into buying. This is a great way to get Sonic.
I had a Batman one. And then it would lead on to like the R-Zone, which I do own.
Oh my god.
With the flip down screen.
Ugh.
Playing Virtua Cop. It's oh god. Anyway, so next week, Dave.
Next week.
We'll do more gaming talk. We'll be probably talking about games that came out. We'll talk about Virtual Boy.
Yes.
We'll talk about games that came out 20 years ago or 30 years ago for that matter. Once we go around, we'll find ways to talk about things. You can follow me on twitch.tv/Jefferoth, mixer.com/Jefferoth, YouTube, search for The Jefferoth, on Twitter @TheJefferoth, @Jefferoth on Twitter. We might be playing some Street Fighter 5 tonight because Chip issues on people, and I want to play more of Seth and get out of Super Bronze.
There you go.
We might play another night. We'll see.
Follow
me everywhere.
You got it. You can follow me on Twitter @DaveTheWatchman, and you can always check us out @nerdbacon.com. You can follow us @nerd_bacon on Twitter. But yeah, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Twitch, obviously, we're on YouTube, we're on all the major places that you can follow us. But most importantly, if you like the video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. If you didn't, we can be constructive. That's cool. We'll take constructive criticism. But if you liked it, go ahead, share the video, and tell your friends about it. We just like hanging out, talking about video games. We will be back next Thursday at 9 Eastern, 8 Central to talk about all the week's events live and continue on with our look back 25 years into the past of 1995. But until then, from all of us here at Nerd Bacon, now and forever, make sure that you game tasty. Good night, everybody.